Shajar Al-Durr is finally in Rise of Kingdoms, but I'm not going to be maxing her. And today I'm going to walk you through why I've made that decision and why you should consider it as well. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another Rise of Kingdoms gameplay episode from your very own Shappy Gaming. And today we are going to be talking all about Shajar Al-Durr, the new archer commander that has just landed in Rise of Kingdoms today for you to unlock on the wheel. Now, before you decide you're spending all of your hard-earned gems on Shajar Al-Durr, let's talk about this commander and why she's probably not the best fit for you, unless, of course, you are all in on archers, you're an all-archer primary, and you've invested very heavily in the healing armaments, which, let's be honest, you have not. So, with that, let's talk a little bit about why I am sleeping on this commander. And before I go too far into the deep end, I will be doing a testing of Shajar Al-Durr. So if you want to see that, be sure to hit that subscribe button. That's going to be right over there, bottom right-hand corner, and drop a like on the video. That helps me out, and it helps make sure that other people see this video as well. So we will be doing a testing. We'll probably even be doing an unmaxed testing because I don't just want to be speculative like I am in this video, but I do want to show you guys exactly how everything shakes out. Now that said, let's talk a little bit about this commander because she's super unique. So first off, she deals direct damage to a target troop, and the damage factor is all the way up to 2,800, which is massive when she's a primary. If she's a secondary, she's not dealing that same damage. She is instead going to be doing some healing. So for the next 10 seconds, whenever this commander heals a target, they also deal 80% true damage to the target troop. So that's actually pretty good. We like that. Now that is 80% of the heal strength. So the heal strength, let's say it's about 2,000. The 80% is going to be of that 2,000. So she's actually got a pretty decent skill damage, but it's only a single target skill damage, which makes a really big difference when we're talking about archers. Now, that's all good though. Let's continue reading through and I'll explain why I'm not crazy about her. So she's got healing. Great. 2,000 healing factor. You know who else had a lot of healing? Richard. Are you fielding Richard? No. And that's part of why I'm thinking Shajar Al-Durr is not going to be the one for me. Now that said, she can debuff a target and make them march 50% slower, which is actually a pretty massive debuff when you think about it. But she actually has to be able to catch them first, so realistically, she's probably just debuffing infantry. Your cavalry are going to escape her no problem. Now, she also has a health bonus of 35%, which I love. That's a huge health bonus. Archers need health. They really don't have it in their kit. And she has a march speed bonus, which is great. So we know that already. But that has nothing to do with why I'm skipping her. Now, she also is a field troop. So she's going to take up to 10% less normal attack damage. And when their troop uses an active skill, she's going to pop off just a little bit more healing and heal 500 factor for herself and 2 allied troops, or just 3 nearby allied troops. And the fourth skill is they're going to take less damage on the map. That's, I believe, going to be 20% less damage, which is actually a really nice skill. And when she gets down to 60 units remaining, she will be healed, but for a large portion, up to 5,000 healing factor. And this is partly why I'm skipping her. That said, she also can have she loses 40% attack and takes up to 40% less damage. This is a problem. And this is a big problem for her. Now, the first reason why I'm skipping Shajar Al-Durr, and this is probably my personal main reason, I don't like her kit, right? The whole concept of mighty healing in a field environment is not meta. It is not viable. We have healing commanders in the game today that are not being used. Richard is not being used. Constantine is not being used. It doesn't work in the field. But the other thing is, this commander will single-handedly fill your hospital. Because, A, if you see her in the field, you want to target her. Because she's an archer. Most people typically target archers first. I actually ran a poll in my live stream that asked everyone that question. Everyone is looking to target archers first. And there are a lot more cavalry primaries than archer primaries. That's just how it works, unfortunately. If you're an archer primary, let me know in the comment section. I'm curious if you're thinking about investing in Shajar Al-Durr. But because of the nature of her skills, she is going to fill your hospital. Even if you're not doing anything wrong, her fourth skill right here is going to cause her to heal 5,000 units, which can then be added to your hospital bill as soon as she hits 60% unit troops remaining. Which means even if you're getting swarmed, you're going to do this heal. And she's probably going to get swarmed because she's a single target commander. I am not that big of a fan. She doesn't have any AoE. She doesn't have massive skill damage, especially compared to who we have. You can run her primary, in which case she does have pretty good skill damage, but then you're losing out on all the mighty healing that's supposed to make her special to begin with. So then what do you really have? You have a single target archer commander that can deal a lot of skill damage, and then just has a little bit of healing with that fourth skill, and loses 40% attack, which sucks because if you are pairing her with another archer, all of the archers that are really in the game today are dealing huge amounts of skill damage. And that 40% loss is going to hurt your other commander that you're running, especially if you're running someone like Zhuge Liang or YSG who really need that attack bonus. So you're essentially neutralizing their entire skill. You look at Zhuge Liang here, you lose that 50%. And it doesn't matter if you're taking less damage because at the end of the day, you're still probably going to get swarmed as an archer in the field. And sure, you can run away. That's a great thing that you can do. But realistically, is that going to be enough? I don't think so. I also see her as having the skill tree, which is fine, but you really need to pair her with someone who has the support tree. And who are you going to pair her with then? You can pair her with Herman, but Herman's going to get targeted in the field pretty much instantly. So who else can you actually pair her with that's going to make sense? YSG has the skill tree. You can't pair him with her. Tamiris has the attack tree. So who can she actually be paired with? And the main thing that I've heard people saying is they're going to pair her with Sho. But the problem with this pairing is he is a Mightiest Governor commander, which means he's going to be harder to get, he's going to be harder to max, and generally he's going to be less versatile because his skills are built for rallying. We can go through his skills too. For the next 10 seconds, whenever this commander heals a target, they also deal 80% extra damage. So that's nice as true damage. You get additional true damage. And it's up to 5 nearby enemy troops, so that's pretty good. These two have good synergy. But this is the only pairing that really has any good synergy for her today. Let me know in the comment section if you guys disagree, but I just don't see it. I don't see it holistically. He also has a defense bonus, march speed bonus, and normal damage bonus, which we like. That's pretty standard for him. He's going to take less normal damage, which is also going to stack with hers. However, his second skill is actually not going to have any benefit for you because that's as a garrison commander. Here, if the current target's troop is in a rallied army, nope, that's not going to help you because realistically, you're probably not swarming down rallies with her. So overall, the majority of his kit is going to be for a garrison. She's just for healing. I mean, maybe you could have them as a garrison pair, but even then, that wouldn't make sense for me. I am currently running Herman and Zug with Zug primary in my setup. Looking at that setup, who could I actually swap out? I don't think there's anyone I could swap out. I wouldn't get rid of Zug Herman. I think that pair is super strong. And even with her in the game, Ashurbanipal Nebu is going to be more accessible to me because my Nebu is already maxed. And most other players probably also already have Nebu maxed. It's like using Alex with Luce. So if you can use Ashurbanipal and max him and have Ash Nebu, then you're already set. You have your 2 archer marches. Most players are not going to be running 3 archer marches, and most players, I would argue, shouldn't be running 3 archer marches. Because realistically, even if you're running that 3rd archer march, you probably would be better off with the cavalry or infantry march because the meta today is really going to be 2-2-1. That's the current setup. That's what I'm running. That's what most players I know are running. So I'm not going to be maxing Shajar Al-Durr. Personally, I am probably just going to spin for the unlock and we'll see what happens. But That's just my take. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And as I said, there will be a testing video coming out just to prove to you guys that maybe she's not all that great. Thank you all. Shappy out.